Have you ever wondered what Jake Gyllenhaal's problem is? No, not him personally, but the problem Hollywood seems to have with him. Because here's a guy who's starred in everything, from Donnie Darko to Source Code to Nightcrawler to Prisoners. I can go on and on about Nocturnal Animals, Demolition, Southpaw, and yet somehow he's never been the guy in Hollywood. He's one of the greatest actors of his generation. So why doesn't the industry treat him like one? When you think of Jake Gyllenhaal, you think of intensity, a kind of quiet chaos behind the eyes, a guy who never phones it in. But here's the thing. Despite a career full of critically acclaimed performances, he's rarely the centerpiece of Hollywood. He's always orbiting greatness, but never quite sitting on the throne. So what's stopping him from being in the same conversation as DiCaprio or Christian Bale? There's this fascinating thing about Jake. He actively avoids safe roles. When Nightcrawler came out in 2014, he lost over 20 pounds and transformed into a sociopathic news videographer. He should have won the Oscar that year, but didn't even get nominated. Instead of chasing superhero franchises or blockbuster paychecks, he keeps diving into psychologically demanding, morally uncomfortable characters. In Prisoners, he plays a detective who blinks every few seconds, a strange, nervous tic that somehow tells you everything about the character's anxiety. In Enemy, he literally plays two versions of himself, and you're still left confused in the best possible way. And then there's Brokeback Mountain, the film that should have cemented him as a Hollywood A-lister forever. But it didn't, because Jake doesn't play the game. In Source Code, he brought emotional depth to a sci-fi thriller that could have easily been another action movie. In Southpaw, he trained for 6 months, transforming his body into that of a broken fighter clawing for redemption. In Demolition, he tore down a man's soul piece by piece, literally and metaphorically, just to show what grief really feels like. And in Nocturnal Animals, he delivered one of the most quietly devastating dual performances in years, yet the movie ended up being talked about more for its visuals than for his work. While other actors attend every talk show, awards dinner, or PR junket, Jake Gyllenhaal disappears. He vanishes for months, sometimes years, between films. He's not interested in being a celebrity. He's interested in being an artist. And that's his biggest strength. And his biggest limitation. Jake's a perfectionist. He's turned down roles that could have made him hundreds of millions of dollars because they didn't challenge him enough. He once said in an interview, "I don't want to be famous for being famous. I want to be known for something real." It's noble, but in a world obsessed with hype and constant visibility, it's also self-sabotage. So maybe Jake Gyllenhaal's problem isn't really a problem. Maybe it's just that he refuses to bend to the machine. He's not chasing fame, he's chasing truth. And maybe that's why his performances feel so authentic, because he's one of the few left who still acts like acting matters. Jake Gyllenhaal doesn't want to be the biggest star in Hollywood, he wants to be its quiet conscience. And that might just make him one of the last real movie stars alive.